John here. Today I want to talk about retaking the A Bombsite on Dust2. This is something that a lot of teams struggle with when I watch them in the lower levels. And since Dust2 is new to the map pool, I thought it'd be really cool to go over this. So to kick it off, I'm going to actually discuss, I guess, just the beginning parts of setting up at long A, because that's how you would probably retake the A Bombsite, is by playing long A. So at the start of the round, you probably want to have two guys, potentially three, head towards the A Bombsite. It used to be 3 all the time, but the way this new Dust2 works, if you have good spawns, you can actually run up long A and manage to get the molly off in the door and hide before a T-Opper ever rushes to PQ. So on the new Dust2, you can kind of control long a little bit easier, right, by doing this protocol, by having your top spawn throw that Molotov. Alternatively, what you could do is you have your top spawn run up to the car. So you run up to like the wheel of the car like this, and you see the sun in the corner of this building. You should just literally aim to the corner of the building and throw a smoke. Okay, it's really easy. Smoke will go into the doors like that, and then right after you throw that, you just simply flash over this wall. And if anyone comes out, so say a team is happening to rush long A, which you would know because potentially a smoke at the corner, some flashes over the wall right there. You would follow it up with that flash, and then your second teammate would be at this wall, and all he needs to do is throw a hard molly off of there. So you can see the molly would bleed over towards the blue container. Your flash would come over, that smoke would be there, and then with that he can then swing, and you guys would both be able to fight all of long A relatively easily. There's not many places they could hide at that point. If you wanted to, you could follow it up with a second flash as well. But yeah, you can see it. This being completely open allows for a lot of CT-sided grenades, in my opinion. So it's very easy to hold long A. Now, once you're set up in long A, this is the part that the meat and potatoes of the video here, talking about retaking the A Bombsite. So typically, your third player playing the A Bombsite could be anywhere, and it's your opper, right? So he could be, you know, opping this cat railing, he could be opping mid. But what ends up happening is when the round kind of slows down and the T's get cat control, you want your AWP player playing, you know, most of the time, if he's rail, then he's probably going to die to the hit. But if you wanted to play full retake on A, you could opt something like the car, whichever angle he'd prefer, you know, or even close to the wall. And basically he would take a shot, and then once they get over here, he may take another shot, and then he falls all the way back to long, right? And you would want your AWP player to hold the site from long A, and you as the long A player would end up holding the doors, right? So at the start of the round, you know, like maybe your second player smokes the door, you are the long A player, so you can either re-smoke the door or opt to save your smoke. And I'll go over a cool thing you can do with your smoke if you save it. So you end up basically clearing long A doors. Be really careful, because when teams do cat executes, there's typically a player lurking the long A. So I wouldn't really necessarily walk into here. That's like a death trap. But just be aware that once you retake, you let your AWP player know. You may remind him, you know, in your protocols to end up holding long once you ignore it. But for now, you're going to be watching that. Once you guys get ready to take the site, it's a coordination amongst the mid and the B players, right? So the mid and the B players are going to be rotating over from mid and B, and they should go through CT spawn. I'll tell you in a second. You could fall to here, and this is what I was saying you could do to your smoke. So you basically get in this corner, you crouch, and this line, you basically go right here while crouching, and then you stand, okay? And then you just throw, okay? And you have to you'll learn how to do this relatively quick, but the smoke blocks off cat. Again, this is completely optional, but a cool thing you can do with your smoke. End up smoking cat off. But you do have to be careful of that. So the second you throw that, you probably want to re-clear this. You wait here. Again, your AWP player is probably like holding something like this to the site. And once you're ready to retake, this is where your mid and your B players are coming up through spawn like this. Okay, so they're looking probably for a mid lurk right here. And also aware that this is the only spot that can kill them right now, okay? And probably actually the only spot that can kill them at all for the entire round. So be aware of this. And potentially a guy dropping spawn earlier in the round, because if you're playing retake, you wouldn't know that. As you guys come up long, the main component of this is you and potentially the third guy playing A, if you did have a two long A setup early round, are going to be on this wall, okay? And your opper is going to be holding the site, And once you're ready to cross, as well as the spawn guys come up through spawn, and this is the most important thing in the whole entire thing. So once your spawn guys are ready to come up and fight, holding this, you want your opper, if he wants to flash this way, he can for this first flash. I would highly suggest not doing that because it's going to blind your spawn guys. It's really easy to just flash though up over here, and then you want to follow it up with a second flash again to the right. And the reason why you want to flash to the right is because flashes are blowing up behind you and all of the fights are then in front of you, right? And there's nowhere for a T to really play without getting blind. So if they're up on this wall, your spawn players are coming up with those flashes behind them. You're coming up with the flashes behind you, and anyone on this wall is dead. That's why I was saying the only place that can get kills by doing something like this without getting traded out is potentially a guy while you're on this wall waiting, peeking into spawn like this. Okay, so this is the one thing that your CG spawn players need to be really, really aware of when you retake the bomb site. It's just this player swiveling back and forth right here. Obviously, once you come up, it becomes an easy trade for you. But you wait on this wall. That first flash pops. The upper quad can't even see you if you cross close, so keep that in mind. If you cross far, you are vulnerable to that spot. So stay close to the wall. Flash pops. If you didn't have that smoke for cat, you can literally just wait for the first flash to pop, swing out. You can molly the bricks, and then with that, you just hop up through the site right here, and you can use that molly to actually clear behind quad. Okay, so again, everything is very easy in front of you. After the opera throws the flash for you, he just runs up. And then at this point, you know, he can post quad as you run up. Once you run up, obviously he swivels over and he ends up holding cat. Most of the times, if it is a cat exec, you'll probably have the cat plant. So the AWP player just wants to hold cat. You may even want to have an M4 swing out as you tap the bomb. You could even stick the bomb. At that point, it's all just late game semantics. But you can see how everything is super easy if you just take your time. And the main point is to use flashes behind you as you run up and the pathing along the wall. Those two things combined are going to help you win, 90% of your A retakes. And this is why it's so difficult for teams to hold the A bomb site. Now, the third thing that's also really important, obviously, is that the mid and the B guys aren't going through mid and like fighting in mid doors. These aren't advantageous fights. That's why when you typically see a lot of top level teams retake the A bomb site, the mid and B players might come over towards mid, throw a flash over just in case there's a lurk, and then cross, kind of wait for a guy to come out mid potentially, and you retake through spawn. You might want to have one player go very, very late cat, but it's not for the purpose of getting the kills and like meeting you guys in the bomb site. It's for this scenario where, they end up getting a couple trade kills. So this guy ends up coming up cat literally dead last. Like he's hoping that if it breaks down to like a 2-on-2, that you are the guy in the A site. Once you're in the A site and the other team knows you're in the site, he will then flank cat at that point and get the guy's cat, and you guys will probably win the round with like 7 seconds left on the bomb timer. So just an alternate way to go about the round. But yeah, as you can see, guys, it's really simple. Just keep everything in front of you. Use flashes towards game helper. Use potentially the smoke or a molly towards cat to eliminate that position as you run up. And then if your teammates happen to have molly and spawn, you could just molly quad. It's not that difficult. But again, you can see that it's actually not even necessary to molly quad. But anyway, guys, I hope this helps out. And yeah, have fun retaking the A bomb site. Peace.